Melbourne lead, up they fly. A Crumb, if Walsh gets it and they're away here. He got it, but he was jammed. Ball fell to Langdon, got it to Viney, but he's kicked it straight to Wiedering, and if he finds Hollands, to Bruce had the last roll of the dice to win it. Doherty gets loose on the wing, McVie trying to close. Doherty, brave as can be, marks and plays on, has a bounce, kicks to full forward, up goes Akers, goal, goal, goal! Carlton hit the front inside the final minutes. Have you ever heard the MCG like that? Wow, I thought he missed it. I thought he hit it skinny. Oh, he slapped it across the turf hard at the left-hand post and got it in. Was always going to happen. Was always going to happen.
You declared it, Dwayne. It was a good goal, 50 seconds.
Melbourne have to come up with a miracle. Kick charge down. Brilliant smother by Chera. Levers over the top of it. Chera arrives. Motlop to Koenig has it. Kicks it inside 50. The race for the loose ball is on. Off the ground, Kennedy and rolls and rolls and rolls through from behind. 3 seconds left. Straight up the middle. Melbourne go. Rivers launches. Carlton goods must be crazy.
Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Amal, and joining me tonight, I have Carl, Mullis, George, and Andy. And we are the Monday Blues, coming off a historic win against the D's. Wowee, have we got some things to talk about tonight. Carl, how are you feeling?
I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't there. I'm not as happy as you blokes, man. Like, I'm happy, but I wasn't there to enjoy it like you blokes did, man. I was sick as a dog. But we won. I'm happy. I'm not as happy you guys. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. You did miss out. You did miss out big time.
Hard.
Yeah, I know.
Mullis, how are you?
Fucking hell, bro. What was that? That was the biggest buzz I've ever had in my life without taking anything. Straight out. Straight out. That's a big call. I know that. I'm still. I don't know. I haven't come.
We've had some nights.
Mate, I've got my throat back, sort of. I can feel it. Senses are sort of coming back, but that was next level. Where do I start? I don't even know what to say. People were hugging people. People were kissing people. People were jumping on people. It was a zoo. It was a zoo. It was a zoo. Yeah. Andy, George, please help.
George, take it away, mate.
Mate, speaking of sore throats, I think this has been getting me through the last couple of days. Shout out to Strepfin. Might struggle a little bit tonight too, just getting the voice back. But I don't know, that last 2 minutes, if you could encapsulate and just store that in something, bottle it. That last couple of minutes was the most insane thing I've ever been a part of. And like you said, when that final siren went, I think between where we sat to Jollymont Station, I think I about hugged and kissed about 90 different people. Probably why I'm sick. Celebration, commotions. It was just the most insane thing. Best sporting evening of my life. Best. I know it's a semi-final, right? But wow, like this, like that was 2 decades of hurt just coming out in volume. Andy.
That's not my life. Just wow. I don't know. I'm still floating. It was unlike anything I've ever that's ever happened to me. It was just magic. It was actual magic, and I'm very much in the same boat as Morse. Best buzz I've ever been on, mate. It was special, Yeah. It was just, and I haven't really spoken to Carl about it because I didn't want to make him feel bad for missing out. Poor bloke. But Carl, it was.
Oh, I can only imagine, man.
Oh, bro, it was the best night. It was magic, man. Like I was really upset that I missed the last Melbourne game because I was unwell. But this made up for it in droves. It was just, magic. Yeah, I'm just getting my voice back as well. So, yeah.
The crowd was like nothing I've ever experienced, and I thought the Sydney game was like crazy. Like the atmosphere was intense. We had less supporters at the ground this time, but they were probably 3 times as loud. It was what it was, and for those listening along and watching along, let us know in the comments how you felt if you were at the game on Friday night. But I feel like that was a decade's worth of emotions that baggers have pent up, right? That have kept inside them. It was all released Friday night after Blake Acres kicked that goal. Oh my God. It was mayhem. Mayhem. What a moment in history to be a part of.
Yeah.
And can we just appreciate Carl's face at the moment?
Carl, I think the only thing I was missing for me is just a bear hug from Carl after the siren. Honestly, mate, I was actually shattered. I was actually shattered for it. That's why I messaged you.
Terrible. My night was terrible.
I know you were under the weather, mate, but
At
90
one point in the, I think it was third quarter, I looked over. Usually, me and Carl, we don't say much during the game because we tend to sit apart.
Just the
But
look.
we just give each other a look. I'm like, oh my god! And I went and I looked, and there was just an empty seat. And my heart was kind of, But
Yeah.
Carl, oh man, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's
So
I'm happy
good.
for you blokes.
No, you're not. Look at him.
I was sleeping.
Just cursing us.
Bad.
I went to sleep. I fell asleep about 7:15, right? Knocked out, sweating like a dog. I wake up, I think it was 10:10. I go, I think the game will be done. I look at my phone. We're down by 9 points or whatever it is. Couldn't even get up. Look at my phone a couple of minutes later. We're down by 6. Anyways, we kick a goal. We're up by whatever, a point or whatever it was. I get up, I run to the lounge room, get some energy. I couldn't even figure out how to turn the TV on. I swear to God. I'm yelling everyone's asleep. I get the TV on and the siren's gone. Yeah. I mean, it's good we won, but I was like, fuck.
and then cue Bedlam and Carl's lounge room. Absolutely.
It wasn't happening for me, man. It wasn't happening. It was just bad.
Oh, well, it's not 96,000 in the house, 96,412, I think it was. They, like, as you said, Andy, witnessed something special. That's, and usually we're on the end of heartbreak. That's usually us,
Yeah.
So the last 4 wins we've had all been under a goal, which are heart-stopping stuff. And we're in a prelim, boys. Let that sink in. Like, we are in a prelim.
It hasn't sunk in, bro.
Nah, same.
No.
No chance.
I'll just drive. I'm just driving like today. I was like, fuck. We're in a prelim, man. Carlton is in a prelim.
Yeah.
Ooh, 15, 3 months ago. Looking like,
Shit.
what draft picks were we going to get? I was looking up, man, who should we pick up at like pick 4 or 5? But, man.
I reckon if we package pick 4 and, throw in steak knives and Fisher and this, that, can we get Harley Reid to pick one? That was a real conversation.
It was.
But can I just add the miserable people on especially the socials or whatnot who week on week keep saying, "Oh yeah, but you won't beat Sydney. You'll go out straight." So it's, "Oh yeah, but nah, against Melbourne, mate."
Yeah, now it's Brisbane.
Now it's Brisbane, mate. Just shut it. Like, are you that miserable that you can't see supporters enjoy their own evening and their result? It's not even their team, mind you.
Yeah.
So and it's been happening for the last 3 months, like ever since the Gold Coast win. Really, you just seen it. Yeah, but next week. We're in a prelim.
Do you know what we say to those supporters, George? Cop that in the mouth.
Take it away. There you go.
That's what we say.
I love that.
Andy released a brilliant video of his thoughts just after the game about how it was just Gold Coast. You know what? I should play it over this.
Yeah,
I should play it over this.
100%.
What a video!
I was pumped. I was amped after that siren. I remember just screaming. I just screamed. It wasn't like a yes or no. I just went ah. I was just screaming.
That was everyone. Before the siren.
Man, my uncle came, and he was a kid in that moment when the siren went. You could see it. He was like, man.
It meant something.
Around us, there was 70-year-olds around us that were jumping up and down. These blokes haven't moved in 30 years. And they were jumping up and down, man.
Hey, straight out, I think that 7-year-old behind us started crying.
Bro,
Yeah,
there was
few
just
people
three of them.
did. Yeah.
There was a lady behind
George
me.
God.
I put my hand up. There was a shed. There was a shed. I'm not even ashamed to admit it. I yelled that loud, and I was.
Bro, what are you talking about?
There was an old lady behind me, and I didn't even know she was there the whole game. Like, I didn't look behind me most of the game, so I didn't see her. And I've just turned around. I was still in shock. Like, this is after jumping up and down for about 5 minutes. I don't know. I got my head spinning. I think I'm gonna faint. I'm trying to understand what we just saw, and she just looked at me and she's like, "Gonna give me a hug." So I hugged her, and it felt like I was hugging an ancestor. Like, it was like it felt like home. She was this sweet old lady. My head was on her bosom. It was like, I felt like a child again. I felt safe in her arms. Like, it was magical, honestly, man. It was, yeah. and then I screamed into a camera for 5 minutes after that. Mate, we felt it all.
You got a number?
She's that old. It's probably like 2.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Crazy.
The scenes after the game were crazy, and there's plenty of videos out there, and I'm sure I'll be able to pull some together and chuck overlay it over this. But the game itself, throughout, you know, the sort of quarter by quarter, how did we feel after the first quarter? Melbourne got the jump on us big time at the start. They were playing a different brand of footy, a much hotter brand of footy. But having said that, it wasn't like Carlton was playing like crap. That was the most, like, fiercest start to a footy game I've ever seen Carlton be involved in. It was hot from the get-go. Every contest
was hot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fresh
You guys
out
feel
elite
the same?
level. Yep.
I remember Musa at one stage, Musa just looking at me, what the fuck's going on? It was literally just, what is happening? Everything was happening quick and fast, and every contest was hot, and every contest was hard, and it just looked like everyone was getting hurt.
Yeah.
Just both teams, just everyone was, after a hit, they just grabbed their stomach, they grabbed their shoulder, grabbed their leg. It was really hotly contested early, for the whole game, really. A really intense match.
I was watching the replay today, and I think it was Alex Neil-Bullen specifically went at Akers' shoulder.
I seen that.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
The dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cripps got cut.
That was in the
big
first
time.
quarter. That was early.
Yeah.
He just pressed down on his shoulder, and then went at it again, tried to bump his shoulder again, and
I
Cripps
don't
was
mind
having
that, bro. I don't mind that. If you're out there, you're good to go.
You can take it.
That's the way I look at it.
You know what though? Honestly, like, after the week they had, I thought the way they came out, and you know, my thoughts anyway, my opinion, I thought there was some weak acts from Melbourne. Like you've got Brayshaw gets taken out last week, right? The way they respond to it is targeting injuries on our players,
Yeah.
right? So you know, and then there was the ill discipline and stuff like that as well, which we'll cover. But Cripps's ribs, Akers' collarbone, multiple bumps, Pickett with, you know, that parasite, 3 citable offences. You know, you had so yanking what's his name, yanked Walsh into the boundary in the fourth quarter with 5-6 minutes to go as well. So the way they responded to the Brayshaw incident, I felt, well, great for us anyway. So I would be, if I was a Melbourne fan, I'd be pissed.
I'd be pissed at Pickett, man.
Yeah. Oh, he
cost them goals.
He cost them the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was an absolute sniper. Absolute sniper.
Yeah.
He three incidents. When there was the McGovern jumper punch. There was the Cripps, which he got 1 week for. The jumper punch, he got a $1,500 fine for the early plea. But there was also the one where he got him around the head walking back from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you watch the replay, he gets him around the head, which probably could have been something there as well. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was looked at, but it was. You know, they focused on it. So 3 effectively citable offences, and then, you know, on top of what he just did and the ill discipline, I think he gave away the 50 as well. If you remember where,
yes,
there was the 50 gave away across the mark.
Don't forget the reversal.
The reversal, and right at the death, right at the end, when they kicked their post, he had Petrarca behind him, and he had 2 players in the middle, and he saw the headline. He saw the headline in his eyes and thought, you know, I'm going to take this, and because couldn't have happened to a better person after what happened last year, and even last year, to show you how much of a you know, parasite he is. His first thing, instead of celebrating with his teammates, you know, we saw that photo that surfaced. He went right into Jack Nunes' face. Went right into Nunes' face to you know, to rub it in. So beautiful.
What happened to him when he missed? Copped it in the mouth.
Copped it in the mouth.
I was going to say, take it away, Carl.
Copped it in the mouth.
Couldn't have happened to a better person.
What a dirty grub.
He's dirty.
Straight out. Straight out.
He is the epitome of false bravado. He knows, I'm on a footy field, I can't get my mouth broken. You do that on the street, bro, I will break you. If he touched one of the Carlton boys out on the street, he'd have that many blokes after him, mate. He wouldn't know where to run. The little maggot. Anyway, continue, bro. You're getting angry. Fucking little sweet dog.
Yeah, it was pretty poor as far as a
Cozzy, if you're
discipline.
watching, I'm coming for you next year in the car park, you dog. Next minute, he's going to snitch me out. AFL is going to ban me from games. As long as we win AFL this year, I don't give a shit.
And he means that allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It was poor discipline from him, really, really poor. But on the other side of things, especially from the Demons, Stephen May had a ripper of a game. I think that needs to be called out. He got the better of Curnow on the night. I think some of the deliveries certainly didn't help, and I think the pains me to say this, but not having Mackay on the field, especially against the D's, I think really showed us how important someone who can't kick a goal is.
I believe they got the best backline in the competition.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way Lever works with May and then Salem as well. So we spoke about this at quarter time, half time, whenever we spoke about it. The system they have for Lever to be able to leave, I made that joke in the thing video as well. The system they've created to allow Lever to run off his man and then for Salem to run on whoever has his man is impeccable. Like, it's actually amazing to watch how in sync those three players are. So a credit to them. But yeah, we're in a prelim and you're not.
Hasn't sunk in.
Oh, man. You look at some of the players that stood out in the first quarter. One of them who stood out actually all game, buddy Sam Walsh. Holy crap.
Christian Dior. How good was his mouth guard?
Yeah, mouth guard, Dior mouth guard.
How
crazy is that?
Yeah.
How crazy. What did he have? 34 and 2 goals.
Yeah.
43 pressure acts, double anyone else on the field, 8 tackles.
Wow.
And massive, yeah.
And you think he had over 600 metres gained as well, didn't he?
Something like that.
And pick any stat, he dominated. And you know what's funny? Earlier this year there were a few media outlets saying if you redo that draft, there's 5 or 6 blokes that you take before him. Carl,
Did they really?
what have you got to say to that, Carl?
Pop that in the mouth.
Honestly, what a performance! Like I tipped him for BOG. And I tipped 3 points, 3-point margin, and Walsh BOG. So I was 1 point off that prediction. But
You've been pretty good lately with your predictions.
Hey, only against Melbourne because I picked the Melbourne 4 points last time. So,
Oh, yeah, you did too, yeah.
but yeah, look, he was everywhere. And those 2 important goals that he took, like we took our chances, right? And he was at the end of or the beginning of everything. So yeah, huge.
Can we talk about TDK?
Oh, man.
While we were on the first quarter, he
Yeah.
clutch in that first.
He got us back in because Melbourne
Massive.
almost looked like they were about to run away with it.
Yeah. I reckon they were 1 goal off from, I wouldn't say like ending it, but really putting the pressure on. Like really, because as we learnt in the previous week of finals, you hit 4 or 5 goals up.
It's hard to come back.
Really hard to come back from. So, yeah, TDK, man. I feel
What a
really
freak.
vindicated. I feel, because I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people who told me TDK was a bit overrated. Shouldn't be paying him that much. We shouldn't, you don't bow down to him. He's just a kid and all that. And I was adamant we do not lose TDK. And he's becoming a man right in front of us. Right in front of us. He's developing and he will be the premium ruckman in the league.
He's got everything in his arsenal, though, right? He can take a bloody hanger. He's and they're sticking now. They're stuck really well for him this week. And the 2 goals in the first were sublime. Like when we needed it, like the pressure was on him, right? He needed to make it count both times, and he did.
I remember saying to Moose on his first shot. Sorry, Ma. I remember in his first shot, I go to Moose. This could go anywhere, bro.
That's usually on the full for me.
Because his kicking isn't his strong suit. Like, and he was on a tough angle. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Mate, and he
Nailed it.
pushed straight through.
Yeah.
Good on you,
He
Tom.
had a really good game.
Yeah.
He's you compare TDK now, if you compare this part of the year compared to the start of the year, he at the start of the year he was all like potential, right? He has so much potential. He has so much potential. But as the year has progressed and we've started to see more and more of him in his position and everything like that, it's I don't think it's no longer potential. It's this guy's serious talent.
Yeah.
Serious talent.
Do you think signing him? Do you think him getting the contract out of the way has maybe alleviated some pressure off him?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon it has.
Well,
Yeah.
it could have gone one or two ways. Yeah.
I reckon
Yeah.
it's given him a sense of
Security.
comfort, and sort of, this is where I'm at. This is where I wanted to be, but now it's confirmed, and now I can take that off my shoulders and play footy.
Yeah.
So,
I think he really would have been feeling the pressure after Moose asked him the serious question.
He buckled him.
Face to face with Moose, he was buckled. Yeah, no. Look, I think, and to Andy's point, the ceiling is high. His ceiling is high. So we're seeing, like what Amal said, potential. He's sticking those marks, getting those goals, impacting the play a bit more now. But the ceiling is high. So he's like the stats with him and Pitnet play together are great. Pitnet, gets. Roughs up the other ruckman effectively. TDK does a lot better around the ground as well. So if we can hopefully see that consistency a bit more. But yeah, I think signing, got the monkey off the back and just helped him play a bit more consistently. So loved his game.
Yeah. That got us back within, I think, a goal and a bit just coming up to the end of the first quarter. And then Carlton turned it on. Walsh, bang. Curnow, bang. Jesse Motlop. Actually, before all of them, Jesse Motlop, bang. And I think we questioned Jesse Motlop's inclusion in the first quarter. I think, Andy and I, we were talking about it. We didn't think he was probably the right person to bring into the game, especially with Mackay's out. We thought that Silvani was or should have been the person to come in. Do you think after the game you were still thinking that?
I will never doubt selection again. Why? We're in a prelim. Why? Yeah, bro. Whatever.
You know what word we haven't said, or two words we haven't said in like 12 weeks? Selection integrity. We used to say that every week, like or match committee. We say match committee. I haven't said it.
I forgot those words.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's happened for a reason, obviously. But if a fit Silvani was there, I think he would have made a world of difference. The game probably would have been a little bit different.
And what Andy said, how? And do you like for Kennedy or for Motlop?
No, that's a big one, actually, because Kennedy did a really good role too. Yeah. Probably Motlop. Look, Motlop, fantastic effort. And sometimes I need to remind myself, he's a kid. He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old playing for the last 15 weeks to save his life.
He kicked 2 clutch goals.
Yeah.
So he loves a big game. Yeah. Loves a big game. Loves a big goal.
There's a couple of moments early on, and it could have been just nerves. It could have been not having Jack Martin in the side. But he just looked a little bit out of place.
Bro, I think that as you're saying, like early on, real fumbly and like real nerves. 96,000 people. You're 19 years old.
Yeah,
biggest game of his life.
Literally, like
still going through puberty.
And you're literally, and you're down. Yeah, like it's not like we're up. We weren't up and about.
Oh, look, he was fantastic. If you look back towards the second half, he did a really good job. So
you think of him back to that Pies game as well, where he was like the big moments, big stages. He's delivering. So another couple of pre-seasons as well. And look, I think, and we said it as well. Once he has a bit of a stretch in the VFL, which I think he did. He went had a couple of weeks and whatnot, and came back, and he just looks assured. And then Martin came in, Cunningham came in, and it just all sort of gelled. The pressure acts inside 50. So. Yeah,
I felt like he was playing a different role too, though. I was sort of watching him a little bit when the ball moved forward, and he wasn't at the feet at all. I don't think there was a contest where he was at ground level. He was sort of playing a Jack Martin role. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
Yeah, he was definitely away from the contest. The contest.
Yeah,
the contest. I think that was just he works the best in space. He does his best work in space. Always is usually the one that's in and under, although always is another one that was quite fumbly. Took his chance in the last quarter, took his moment, and that's what it's all about. But a couple of times, just didn't make the right decision, And it was such a hotly contested contest that, mate, you hesitate, you're gone. You don't take that first option, you're gone.
It would not surprise me if Matt always gets a tap on the shoulder saying you won't be on a field for this
You reckon?
travel to
Nah, I
Brisbane.
don't reckon.
I reckon
Nah,
this is
no
the
way.
game.
Nah,
Yeah,
that
I
won't
reckon
happen.
this is like
He's-
an
he's-
always game.
He's
I
too
don't know.
important.
I've just got that gut feel. Like, I hope I'm wrong, but when you look at Martin and Mackay, Motlop did his job. The only
Cunners,
other
I
one
reckon.
probably be Cunningham, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
think
I think
Cunningham-
always for the last 2
Oh,
weeks.
Cunningham's gone.
Yeah, Cunningham was really quiet. Did he kick
Holland
a
will
goal?
come in.
Nah, he didn't.
He was subbed off against GWS from memory.
Yeah.
He had a really important goal against Sydney, but otherwise was quiet. I can't remember if he did get subbed off for that one or for someone else. He got subbed off after not having a huge impact. He had not as much impact, obviously, Friday night. So I think if anyone,
9 touches, yeah.
9 touches.
and if anyone's going to get the tap just for this week, it might be Jack to come in for him. Because that's the thing. Like if Jack was in, and this is going back to the first quarter, and Lever dominating and stuff like that as well with May. Like if Harry's in, Harry takes Lever. Obviously, tries to get as far away, like take Lever as far away from Harry, and try and keep it 1-on-1. And May would Stephen May killed it, but Jack Martin could have done that role as a third tall or a pseudo tall. So that leaves now. Well, Voss said post match, if Harry's fit, he's playing 100%. I can guarantee that. So he's coming out of the concussion protocols. Naturally, Martin's going to play. So let's just say it's Cunningham as well. Do you take Kennedy back out?
Harry and Martin definitely come in though. I reckon.
Well, there you go.
They will.
Two need to
Yeah,
come
they will.
out.
Yeah.
So
Or do you move Kennedy back into the midfield, potentially rotate Hewitt
Kennedy,
out sub? So
yeah.
there could be there's interesting selection options.
I reckon Kennedy goes sub.
Martin back in.
Martin in.
Silvani stays out.
Yeah, I can't see how Silvani fits. If we're playing both ruckman, if
Unless
Kennedy
Pito comes out, maybe.
but I don't think.
Nah,
he
you
will,
can't
bro.
take Pito out.
He did really well. Like
Yeah.
Pito plays the type of game that when you're watching it live at the game,
You don't see much.
you don't see
Nah.
his impact. But I've noticed when I watch the replay as soon as I get home, you think far out. This guy does really
He
well.
uses his body well around the ball.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You need that.
I just wish he was a little fitter. But he runs all day.
yeah,
He's just not quick. He's slow as.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kennedy and Motlop both come back out.
I don't think you can take
I'd be
Motlop out after
very
2 games.
surprised. Yeah.
I don't think
After 2 goals, sorry.
Especially
Yeah.
against Brisbane, man.
That's why I've thrown the always thing out there. It would not surprise me considering the inclusions we've got.
Fuck, it's going to be a tough one, eh?
That'll be interesting
From
on
a
the preview.
forward line perspective as well. There's another big thing that we'll probably discuss in the preview, but that's going to be who takes on Charlie Cameron. But we'll leave that for the preview. Cripps, what do you guys think is Cripps' game?
Monster.
It was a beast.
Bull.
Well, actually, let's look at the players that all got injured. Cripps, broken nose, played through. Right, Akers, cooked shoulder, played through, and his shoulder was targeted. That's not fun to go through. Who else was there?
Wiedering, Doherty.
Wiedering,
Doherty.
and Doherty. Can we just take a moment to appreciate what Doherty did? His shoulder was out. Go watch the footage. It is disgusting. He comes off. Andy listens to the radio at the game, right? And as soon as he went down, Andy was like, "It's his shoulder. It's dislocated. He's going to get subbed." Any normal person would get subbed off.
Yeah.
Anyone. This bloke goes and gets strapped up, comes back out, and sets up the last freaking goal.
We didn't even know who was back on. I thought he got subbed off. Yeah.
Is that Doherty?
I was like, bro, that's Doherty. I'm like, where, bro? I'm looking at the bench. Like, he's not even on the bench. And he's like, bro, he's there. He's on the ground. I'm like, nah, bro, what's wrong with you? And I look and I see 15. I'm like, what?
Great mark and entry, honestly. And can I just say, hopefully, playing on the big dance, but I don't think anyone in the AFL deserves it more than him. I don't think anyone in the AFL, for what he's been through, obviously the multiple, cancer treatment, the knee recos, the ACL, whatever, all the time that he spent away in the rehab and things like that as well, and to come back and keep playing at an elite level. No one deserves it more than him, and he's an absolute warrior.
If there's one thing I despise in footy, it's the term heart and soul. I hate heart and soul, right?
You already
I
know
hate
my
that
thoughts
term.
on that one.
Yeah. I fully hate the term heart and soul. I think it's the most overused, overhyped term.
Kate Simpson.
Kate Simpson, Jack Silvani. I love him. I love Jack Silvani. Not so much Kate, but anyway, it's another thing. But man, if you're gonna give someone that title, Sam Doherty.
Yeah.
Sam Doherty should wear a badge that says heart and soul every game because he is the very definition of both. And yeah, Sam Doherty is he's a different breed,
Yeah.
of competitor. And you got to sit back and admire it and tell your grandkids about it one day, because yeah, they won't believe you that a bloke had his arm ripped off his shoulder bone and then played 10 minutes later and took the match-winning mark pretty much. That
It
won
was
us the
crazy.
game.
Absolutely
That
crazy.
was literally inches in it, right? So the kick from Hollands, there is not even there's an inch in that, right? And for him to take it at a point where he could then run off, he drew the defender. That was the Hail Mary play.
That whole play from Viney turning it over to Wiedering just taking that risk, going inboard to Hollands, who was centimetre perfect, right?
Yep.
Straight to Doc, and Doc standing, keeping his feet, turning around and hitting Akers.
That was the link up as well, number 13, 14, and 15. Their numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, the wingers.
I didn't know that.
The wingers.
Good call out.
Yeah.
You're right, absolutely
Crazy.
spot on.
Yeah.
And it was nice to hear Akers call it out as well, saying that it was nice that three wingers got on linked up for that one as well. So it was huge.
The
Still
volume.
Tripping. I'm still tripping. Yeah.
The volume around the ground when Wieders hit Hollands and Hollands hit Doherty, and Doherty turned and ran and bounced
Just
the
kept
ball
going.
and then kicked it in.
We were out, bro.
My God. Like,
Getting goosebumps.
yeah. It was like nothing I've ever heard in my life. I didn't even see the Akers goal because I was too busy screaming my head off. We all were.
I thought he missed.
Everyone.
Fuck, he almost did.
I was upset. I'm like, he played on. I'm like, take your 30. Take your 30.
Yeah, you weren't the only
Probably
one saying
nervous
that
to
as
go
well.
back, I reckon.
What was that, Carl?
I said he's probably nervous to go back for the
100%.
set shot. Yeah.
The opening's there, right? You see the opening, you got to
Yeah,
take it,
100%,
right?
yeah.
So,
100%.
but that's and you notice. Well, I only noticed this when I watched the replay, but in the 50, pretty much near him, when Akers took the mark, the other two players that were close to him were McGovern and Kemp.
Yeah.
And I said in the preview that someone's going to swing forward, either McGovern or Kemp. Turns out it was both of them for that final play.
Yeah.
I love what McGovern did there, though.
He
The
put a
fake
body
kind of
exactly.
mark.
Yeah.
That was great. That was
Yeah.
great.
He executed it, because you can give away a free kick quite easily. So he executed it well. Yeah.
I was, wow. When that happened, I was like, what?
What a
What am
play.
I seeing? What am I seeing, bro?
It's like a movie.
And then this bloke next to
Yeah.
me, everyone's celebrating. He's like, there's 1 minute left. There's 1 minute left. I was like, oh, no, there's 1 minute left. Like, it's not over, How long did that 1 minute feel?
Yeah.
My
Eternity.
Lord. We'll get
I
back
was
to
trying
that
to turn the
last
TV
minute.
on.
We'll get back to that last minute because we've completely forgotten about the third quarter. And I don't think we're not going to spend too much time on this because that was the shittest quarter of footy.
Can I summarize it?
Do it.
Mark, turnover, spoil, turnover, 50 metres, turnover, tackle, turnover, inside 50, turnover, outside the back, turnover. It was literally that.
It's bad.
It was
It's pretty
for
bad.
both teams.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
and then Melbourne goal. Like, it looked rough in that third.
Yeah.
How did you feel at 3/4 time? Did you
Pissed.
feel like the game was slipping away at all at any stage?
100%. 100%. Even early in the first quarter, when Melbourne kicked, I think Melbourne kicked the first goal in the fourth quarter.
No,
And
we kicked the first and the fourth.
did we?
We kicked the first two in the fourth.
Walsh and
Always.
Walsh. Yeah, Walsh.
No, and then,
really.
and then
Yeah.
and then Pickett and Fritsch got the goals back.
Yep.
But it was at that point, because it was a goal to Pickett. It was a actually, I think it was a rush behind, and then a goal to Bailey. Kerno missed, and then all of the opportunities that were presenting themselves in that fourth quarter were all going Melbourne's way, all of it. And I think that, I think I started coming up with excuses like, oh, what was it? Was it you, Andy? Or I think we were all talking about it. We were just like, oh, this is a hardened finals team that we're playing. We've done well, we've done this and done that. Yeah. But far out, man, did Melbourne let go of every single chance that they had in that last quarter.
Thank God for Max Corn.
Oh, mate.
Hitting the post.
Filled in for Harry
And
McKay.
touching the one on the line as well, eh?
That's the one.
Well,
That's the one.
that's like goal kicking accuracy.
Did they have 3 posters in the last, or 2? They had 2 minimum.
Two, I think, yeah.
Gordon and Pickett.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not a big believer. I'm not a big believer in destiny and things are just meant to. I'm a big believer in you make your own destiny. I was a believer in destiny after that. I've converted.
Well, after the Bailey Fritsch miss as well, like there was the snap where Gorn was pretty much there as well.
Yeah.
That was that miss. So they kicked him and Pickett kicked 2-3 each. So yeah,
during the season, apparently, so I'm watching the replay. BT or JB was saying that he's 9 from 9 from that position, Fritsch.
wow, destiny.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, I want to jump in real quick to when Doherty got injured. I got a message from Rules. He goes, "What happened to Do Cherry?" I wake up at 10:15. I go, "Who's Cherry?"
I had Doherty, but it's split. I get it.
He goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Bro, I was typing. I was nervous." He goes,
Right. That whole game was intense.
The goal kicking accuracy, and I think I was listening to SCN a week ago where they say 1 in every 9. So in the home and away season, 1 in 9 games, so effectively 1 per round game is decided on accuracy, not so throwing form and everything else out the window and results and contested ball and goals from turnover, all that stuff. 1 out of 9 is on accuracy, and in finals that stat increases to 1 in every 4. So effectively goes from like 10% to say 25%. So 1 in every 4 finals, and we saw it last week with Melbourne against Collingwood. They kicked themselves out of it. GWS or Port kicked themselves out of it effectively last night. But yeah, so Melbourne, like, what is it, 9 goals 17 or whatever they ended up on. But it was nervy. And going back to your point, did you feel like it was slipping away? I in my mind, I kept going back to, like, it's only a couple of goals really when you think about it. It is only 10 points, 12 points, or it's only a couple of goals. So, a couple of quick ones, and we saw the response early in the fourth that you can close that gap. So you have that belief. But like when you look at this week and last week, we haven't really played all that well in comparison to our form line and, leading up to the end of the season. We've won 2 finals without our guns firing effectively. When I say that, like, Kerno's kicked 1 in each final, Cripps doesn't have to shoulder the whole load. We haven't turned it on effectively, but these guys belong. They can withstand the pressure. They can withstand the tag. That's what's different with this side.
Well, it kind of goes back to everything we were critiquing the club on mid-season before our run. One of our big critiques was that our bottom 10 players or 12 players weren't good enough, that they weren't playing well enough. Whereas now, they're the reason why we're winning finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Walsh, Chera, Akers, they're all doing, their thing. But Cripps as well. But, Cotters, we spoke about him last week. Again, what a great game. Just pressure on pressure, You got players like Newman, who is solidifying himself as an A grader. Yeah, he was fumbly and made a few mistakes.
Still my smile.
But, man, what a man. Saad
Yeah.
is playing out
Yeah,
of his
insane.
in this final series.
Chincotta,
Saad.
Camp, these guys,
Chincotta, yeah.
unreal.
Saad is a finals. He's built for finals, mate. He's playing out of his skin in finals. And
I think the biggest thing to jump on that with on Andy is that it takes the pressure off your Cripps, off your Walsh, off your Wiedering. Kerno's had a bit of help kicking some goals down there as well, and the likes of Motlop, Martin obviously not in that game, but Martin, always was kicking a few. So it takes the pressure off those guys, and they start working together as a team, and it links back to the system that Voss has got going on. So it just ticks over. And George, you said we haven't played that great, and we haven't, but they've all done their job.
Yeah.
And we get the win.
We've gone from, and going back to probably another major criticism halfway through the year, Michael Voss doesn't have a plan B. Remember that one? Like that, everyone was saying, after that 6-week stretch, he doesn't have a plan B other than Bomber Long or whatnot. And we're now winning in different ways, which is pleasing to see. So we're not just scoring off contested ball. We're really good at scoring off turnovers, and you don't need. Well, we've just shown the last couple of weeks you don't need Charlie to have a big one. We've scored. He scored one goal in each game, and we're still finding a winning score. So, but we just need to stop doing it in nerve-wracking fashion. Like I said, like the last 4 wins have been under a goal each. So it's just been. But I'll tell you what. Whatever. There's 2 things. Whatever Voss said at quarter time against the Gold Coast before the bye,
Ice creams.
And the ice creams, we'll put it down to that. And whatever happened at the bonfire at Ed's house, those 2 things need to be documented and put in the history books of the club. Like whatever happened, just those are the 2 key pivotal points that seem to turn this season around and gel this squad.
Just going back to Chincotta, there was a video released of him in the change rooms after the game. Crying. It must have been his parents and his family, but he was literally bawling his eyes out on his parents' shoulders. What a story that guy has! I mean, this guy came through. What was it, SSP or something like that? Whatever that period was. Came in. I think they chose Chincotta over Oleg Markov, who's now playing for Collingwood, and this guy in his first season of AFL footy is playing for the Baggers in a preliminary final.
crazy.
Huge.
How insane is that?
And what not just team that he grew up supporting.
He's best 22.
Like, he's comfortably best 22. And this whole season is wild, man.
Thank God Markov chose Collingwood because I'll rather Chincotta all day.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah, big time.
Look, shout out to Nick Austin for his some very good work after taking over from Sauce. Right, like there's a number of players. We'll touch on Akers in a little bit. I think that's probably that's a feather in his cap, I can say. But hey, the list decisions he's making,
Sure.
and you can only think, George Hewitt, like a lot of bargains. But you can only think. If he was in the chair when the Liam Stocker trade, that draft pick trade went down instead, would that have happened? What would have changed? Or because Sauce was a bit of a cowboy that night. But yeah, so look, shout out to Nick Austin. He's done really well. Like he's but and then as well, it comes to development as well. So I think hats off.
Yeah, hats off to him. And also, just a quick shout out to the Fremantle list manager, David Balls, for Blake Acres as well.
His name, David Balls. Is that what he said?
David Walls.
Balls. Balls.
I thought he said balls too.
Balls that up.
I'm gonna overlay some footage of this, but we've got some
balls
exclusive footage of
Dogs balls
of David Balls after Blake Acres' goal.
55 metres out. Who's going to get this? Up they fly. Mark taking Akers. Runs, plays on. Has he kicked the goal? He has. Akers has done it again. He wins all the time. He doesn't miss. The Blues are back in front by a point.
This is the worst.
Goodness gracious, can you...
The one-armed bandit steals it at the death again, hey? Like
Can we actually take a moment to appreciate what Blake Acres is putting together?
Unbelievable. 2 weeks in a row, honestly.
He's putting up some performances that are going to go down in Carlton folklore. You know, like
Tell you what he didn't put up. He had a bounce on the full this week.
Yeah, spoke
there
about
was
that.
none. I know.
But he passed one off to
Newman,
Newman straight on the full, so it rubbed off on him.
he was going to do it. It was going to go out of bounds, and he handballs Newman and done it instead. You're right.
For him, yeah.
But no, Andy, mate, totally agree.
What Akers has been able to do with one
With one arm.
Gee whiz.
How long does he continue with that one arm? I mean,
After
we knock
grand
over
final.
Brisbane, then we go grand final, then
2
what?
more weeks.
October 1st,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
October
Then
1st.
what,
Put
they
him
book in for that prosthetic arm? Or
What Acres?
I hope he's going to be all right to lift the cup up. That's the
Yeah,
thing I'm worried about. Oh,
Use one arm.
True. Look, what Acres is doing is so impressive. Even Doherty thought he'd give it a go.
very good. Yeah. Akers, we said, well, everyone was saying we're a wingman away from contending. Just a good wingman.
Didn't
And-
look like that.
8 weeks in, or 10 weeks in, 12 weeks
What have we,
in, 13
what have we
weeks in.
done? What have we done?
Well, I remember specifically Jason Dunstall having not a crack, but critiquing Carlton, saying, "Did we make the right moves? You know, going after a wingman."
Yeah. Well, there was another media person. What's his name? George, who said that Akers makes his eyes fucking bleed every time he kicks the ball.
yeah, I remember that.
Delete that video. No,
Oh,
look,
no.
I said I absolutely.
Threw him
Poor
under the
George.
bus.
Well done.
Fire out, I'm from under the bus. From under the bus,
done.
hold in there.
I'll support you, George. Here, I was probably worse than you.
Yeah, Moose
All
was,
good, mate.
Moose was number one on the Blake. I said Blake
Shaking his
Akers.
head.
Blake Akers hatred club.
Yeah.
Moose was number one.
Was not a fan.
I'll tell you
I
what.
was okay with Akers. I thought, yeah, he's all right. He just
He's
kicks
all
it on the floor a lot.
His work rate.
We'll be right.
I'll tell you what I heard. And look, firstly, though, his work rate was fantastic. Right? I wasn't knocking him on that, but honestly, his kicking in the first, half of the season, the constant out of bounds. I heard, I think it was one of his old Freo teammates or something like that. I think it was, or Saints. They said he purposely puts the ball up as high as possible because he creates a contest. And he's like, if in doubt, he just puts it on the foot, right? Because he's like, I'm going to create a contest. But we weren't seeing that. It was constantly going to opposition, constantly going out of bounds.
Yeah.
And he had some moments as well, but I went back to round one, if you remember, right at the death, he dropped that mark.
Yeah.
When we drew to Richmond. Do you remember that? So it's like a full 360 redemption arc. And as I said last week, I put my hand up. I was wrong, Blake. I'm sorry. I
feel bad now throwing you under the bus.
No, it was just like I said. I'm
Bad.
I was, man enough to make the opinion, man enough to say when I'm wrong. So that was, Look,
Dig up
and
some
I'm happy
stuff
for
on
him.
Mal. I've just made an enemy.
Nah, look.
And I'm happy
apologise
for him
for that.
starting from the Saints game. Starting from that Saints game, you really saw what he's
What a run.
capable of.
What a run he's been on
He's
since.
been fantastic. So you know what? Kudos to him. He's been absolutely immense. And likewise, it's filtered through to Cottrell, to Hollands, and these guys as well. So all of a sudden, like I said last week, this time last year, it was Jack Newnes and Lockie O'Brien on the wings. And Moose got goosebumps now. We've got almost like a luxury now. So honestly, credit to him. Hats off again.
Boys, we're in prelim.
Bad.
A quick shout out, I think, is needed for Ollie Hollands. Now he came on in the last quarter, and what a quarter he had!
Super sub. Santa.
Big time,
Can't podcast.
big time. Now, George, I am sorry. I shouldn't have thrown you under the bus. I'm a little cooked. I'm a little pissed off, and I'll tell you why. Some of the boys here are going over to Brisbane, right? Now I know George and Andy. You guys booked tickets well before,
We booked it last
before
week.
Carlton
We
beat
booked it
Melbourne.
last week. You have never seen two people more confident that we were going to win. We were like, I had people saying to me like, you're gonna fly to Brisbane, mate. I've booked my tickets already. Like, they were like, are you serious? You haven't even won this week. We're going to win. It's not if.
In my mind, I think we booked it on the Wednesday, Thursday, a few days before the game. In my mind, I'm on that flight. I am on that flight to watch my team in a prelim. I was manifesting it. I was confident. And and Andy's wearing his shirt ready. He's ready for Brisbane. I think he's ready a week early.
Ready for the
Ready
weather.
for the warmer weather.
He's ready for the sunshine. Honestly, can't wait. Can't wait to lap up the Gabba. Hopefully, well, there's a lot of Carlton fans in Queensland. There'll be a good representation. A lot of people going up.
Brisbane has never seen as many Arabs as it's about to see. I'm telling
Northern
you,
suburbs is coming up.
the whole northern suburbs. The area is going to be in Brisbane.
Get ready.
Now, I would love to come, but let's not even talk about Qantas and Virgin and Jetstar. Rex Airlines is charging $1,100 just to get to fucking Brisbane.
I've lost them all.
Yeah, same.
I think we lost him out.
Am I back?
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Welcome back.
I'm saying, don't worry about Qantas and don't worry about Virgin and Jetstar. Bloody Rex Airlines is charging $1,200 just to get to Brisbane on the weekend, man. It's ridiculous.
Yep. That's
Supply
why
and
you should have
demand.
got in early, mate.
Ah, yeah, I made a
Should have
mistake there.
got in early.
Early, not early. Just book it and come.
Hey, the funniest thing ever was watching Mush
When
try
you're
to book it while we're still flying after the game. He's like driving on the phone, losing it. All I could hear was Qantas and
The-
Jet, not fucking
The club
planes.
song.
Oh,
The
bro,
club song is playing after the final siren, and my brother turns the phone to me. He turns the phone to me, and it says booking confirmation. And Mus is on his phone,
He's talking to everyone.
and me and it.
Had about 15 people working on booking these flights for him, and no one was coming through for him.
Andy and I were the most relaxed people in that moment. But I won't say I'm relaxed. I don't remember the last minute of that game. I got to admit, I don't remember the Kennedy dribble. I was after the Akers goal. I think I was just on cloud nine, to be honest with you. Like, my heart was at 151. It was absolute scenes. But just to hear outside, over the club song and the cheering, just people frantically, calling up. Do we drive? Do we fly? And whatnot. So. If we've got any listeners or followers up in Brisbane or Queensland, let us know any hotspots or whatnot. To celebrate the win after Saturday night.
In. Let's get the drinks out, boys. I can't wait. I'm so G'd, man. We're going to play in a grand final. It's so crazy.
Anxiety's kicked in already.
Wait,
Look, this is an up. We'll talk about it in the preview, right? This is obviously it's an uphill battle. They haven't lost to the Gabba and whatnot, but hey,
bring it on.
Look what's happened. Look what's happening this season, right? GWS and Carlton both in a prelim. We were 14th and 15th respectively 3 months ago. GWS was paying $101. At the start of the season, we were paying $200 to make the 8 3 months ago. So anything can happen, and just try and manifest a Collingwood Carlton grand final. Just imagine that.
I want to play GWS.
GWS.
Yep.
Mate, I'll tell you what, Collingwood should seriously be worried about playing GWS next week because they're playing some seriously hot footy at the moment.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They tore Port Adelaide apart in 5 minutes. That's all it took.
Second.
Right, and they don't mind travelling. They'll do it anywhere. They'll do it anywhere. So
They're used to
it'll be,
They're used
be
to it.
interesting one. Be a very interesting one.
A big week coming up for Carlton, for sure. Some of the boys are flying up. George, Andy, Mus. I'll still be looking at tickets tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday,
I'll be
Thursday.
finding somewhere to watch it.
And then we're going to give up, and then we're just going to watch it somewhere here. But we'll leave the conversation of the Baggers versus the Lions for the preview Thursday night. Let's move on to votes. Mus, I'll start with you.
1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3.
2 on 3.
I'm gonna give 1 to
Abu Hasna.
TDK. TDK. Who? Abu who?
Carry on, mate.
TDK gets 1 vote. He was very important in that first quarter. He did a job. He battled. He took marks. He's doing what we've asked of him for a long time, so he gets one. Walsh gets two.
Jeez.
Walsh gets two. Walsh. Oh,
Go on.
That's
no, the other way
disappointing,
around. Other way around. Akers gets two. Walsh gets three.
Yep.
Walsh was fantastic in the midfield. Dominated. Kicked 2 goals, hit the scoreboard, which don't see often. So I think he's unlocking himself and getting some components of his game to that elite level of what we've sort of expected of him to be at, and he's there. So Walsh gets the 3. Akers, all the reasons we've said. One arm. He's become the most important player when it comes to those critical moments. He'll kick a goal when we need one, and he'll stop a goal when it's about to go through and turn the game on its
He
head.
actually has it. He's done it both ends.
That's his job. His job is to turn the game around at critical times and save the game.
He's a wingman. That's literally both ends.
Yeah, so that's it for me, Carl.
Yeah, same as. Before I say my votes, I just want to point out the game from or whatever he played in it. The super sub Hollands, that link-up play, that goal. You'd love to put him in the votes, but didn't play long enough. That not only the goal, the tackle on the wing. Wow,
on Hunter.
Wow,
Huge.
yes,
Match saving.
wow,
Yeah.
that was massive. Just wanted to point that out. One vote to
Good, but Carl, he how good, good call out, because he in the contest he got it down, and then Hunter looked like he broke away.
That's right.
So
yeah,
he had a meter on him, and then he got, and obviously Hunter just got the handball out, obviously, and it turned it over.
But he did
Wow,
enough.
man, that.
He did enough.
So if you could put a vote for 10 minutes of play,
He gets
amazing.
the 3.
Good call out.
Yeah. One to Tom the Koning. Honestly, probably the best game I've seen him play.
Yeah,
We say every time he's had his best game, but he seems to be topping it. 2 to Blake Akers, the bloke with one arm, and 3 votes to Samuel. Wow, star. Yeah, Andy.
I think we're all going to have very similar votes. TDK, huge when it counted early, huge when it mattered the most in the last quarter again. Just a solid 4-quarter. Got himself to every contest. There was one effort on the boundary. We spoke about effort last week, I think. There was one effort on the boundary. He lost the contest, but he just put enough. He was outstretched again, Superman, just to push his opponent out of bounds. Little things, man. Little 1%ers. You don't see ruckman fly like that to, make a tackle. I've never seen a ruckman do that. So, good on him. Lakers, 2. Just, man. BT said it. He just wins. He wins. He just wins.
He yelled it out.
Yeah. And BT was burning that we won. BT absolutely despises Carlton, and I love it. I love it. And shout out to SEN Blues Radio. They are hilarious. I'm spewing I didn't listen to them during a game, but I love watching, their reactions. And their
Andy Murphy.
Andy Murphy Garner. They love the club, those boys. So, yeah. And 3 votes to Christian Dior, Sam Walsh. I'm going to call it the mouthguard game. Because, bro, his mouth guard, when he loves a celebration.
Yep.
And bro, that.
Yeah, I was mad.
Oh, Sammy Walsh.
Check the temp in the house.
He is everything we expected he would be and more. Because when he was younger, we everyone knew he was a good player. He was a great player. But we knew that, but he's a contested bull as well as an outside runner. He run all day. He loves the contest. He loves the contact. He just does it all, and players like that are just so hard to find at that quality. He's so well polished. So, again, Christian Dior, Sam Walsh, my 3. Georgie.
I think you guys are sleeping on Cripps a bit, to be honest. I'm going to give Cripps my 1. TDK stiff. He had an absolute blinder of a game. Fantastic first quarter. Probably one of his best games, I absolutely will admit. But Cripps, 27 disposals, 16 contested, 9 clearances, 7 score involvements. He got the handball out at pivotal moments for the runner multiple times, and this guy got belted.
Yeah.
Broken nose. He got hit off the contest a couple times as well, so he was battered and bruised, already nursing a mattress, for his rib cage. And it'll probably come out after the season, just the extent of what he's going through as well. But he was an absolute bull. So although not, one of his best games, I just felt like his impact was great, especially getting the ball out of the contest. 2 for Akers, mate, the one-armed bandit. This guy, just that when he scored the goal, that was his world. We're just living in it. Like his celebration, the stadium was his. He was just, what a moment. And he's running off immediately with one arm tucked in. And you could see on his face when he got on the bench, the happiness and the pain, all at once. Like he was just like in awe of what just happened. He was happy, but he's wincing. Like he's battling. So he's everywhere. He's on the line on both ends, in defense and attack. So what else can we say about him? Absolute. Yeah. Again, thanks, Freo. Walsh. Yeah. 43 pressure acts, double anyone else, 8 tackles, 2 critical goals. Cometh the moment, cometh the man. He's built for finals, so loved watching it. If one of our midfielders doesn't get the other will, and it's great to have an arsenal of midfielders like Chera, Walsh, Cripps. So excited to see what he can do against the side that he grew up idolising. And grew up, idolised, I think, Vossi and Brownie, and grew up barracking for Brizzy. So a lot of storylines this week. So Vossi and all that. But Amal, go to you for your votes.
I'll keep it short and sweet. TDK with 1, Akers with 2, and Walsh with 3. Hard to look past them. Definitely hard to look past them. Great performance from them. But no, look, when we give our 1, 2, and 3, this was a game of big moments. And when the big moments, when those opportunities were there, Carlton took the big moments. I think they took all of them. And that was brilliant to see, because in the past it would have gone the other way. We would have done something stupid, fumbled, kicked it to the wrong way, kicked it to the wrong person, done something like that. But this time that didn't happen. We took our moments. We finished with goals. We didn't finish, shanking it out of bounds on the full or anything like that. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. A fantastic week, an atmosphere, and a game that I don't think any of us or any of those 96,000 in attendance will ever forget. As loud as, if not louder than any grand final. It was immense. The decibels were off the charts. The crowd was electric. It was words don't describe what we were a part of on Friday night. And anyone that was there will be able to attest to that. I don't think we'll ever experience anything like that again until not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah. A wonderful week, wonderful weekend. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've enjoyed filming this episode. Quick shout out to the father and son that stopped and took a photo with me. Enjoyed that little conversation that we had. And if you could please transfer my $5, please. That would be good. And yeah, I'm a little jealous of some of you boys heading up to Brisbane this week, but I hope you guys have fun. If there is anyone that listens to us up in Brisbane, go up and see the boys. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to have a chat with some of you baggers up in Queensland who listen along to our little podcast. Jump in, say hi, take a photo, give them $5, and they'll be pretty happy with it.
Keen to head down. Get around in the comments if you're listening in Queensland. It's looking forward to it. I think it's a nice, looks like a nice day. 2023 so far is the forecast. So very, very keen for a big game.
Yeah.
Sorry boys. A few weeks ago I said, and I was laughed at by people online, I said it's a privilege to go for Carlton. I was proven right last week.
Big
At
time.
the game a couple of days ago. Just that community we have, it is a privilege to go for the Carlton Football Club. And that's it from me, mate.
Privilege
Amen.
indeed. Privilege indeed. Until the preview this Thursday, it is sayonara from the Monday Blues. Thanks, gents.
Sick now.